Hey guys, and welcome back to Sex, Love, and More. Today, I'll be answering questions submitted by you guys, the viewers. All right, the first question is if I love my boyfriend but my parents don't, what should I do? So in this case, I would say try to dig in deeper. Try to see why your parents feel the way that they feel. Your parents do know you best, and they have the best intentions for you, so might have a valid reason. And it might be a reason that you've seen yourself. But sometimes when you're in that relationship, you get caught up and those feelings and emotions, and you choose sometimes to ignore those red flags and sweep under the rug and move on, because sometimes facing those flags means you have to face reality, and in that case sometimes can be uncomfortable for some people. So I would try to understand where they're coming from and then kind of go from there. Because again, more than likely they might have a valid reason. However, sometimes it can be something petty like race or socioeconomic status, and in those cases, stuff like that, let's be honest, is not really important. So if it's something like that, I would address it. I would say, listen, I love this person. They're going to be with me in the near future or long term. You're going to have to learn to accept it. I love this individual, and that to me is not a deal breaker. If it's not a deal breaker for you, you're the one that's dating this person. They are not, right? Again, they overall mean well, even though sometimes they can be a little petty, outdated, closed-minded, if you will. But just try to tell them. And honestly, if it doesn't go well, that conversation, then there might be deeper issues there. But again, try to have an open dialogue and then go from there. If my boyfriend watches porn and I don't really like that he does, should I keep being with him and get over it? Or should I just watch it with him? My first question to you is this a deal breaker for you? Does this go against your values and morals? If so, I would talk to him. Express how you feel and that it goes against your morals and values, and see how that conversation goes. If it's something he's not willing to change and it's a deal breaker for you, end the relationship. He's not going to stop. I'll be honest, he's not going to. It's going to continue to happen. So why sweep it under the rug and move on like nothing happened? Because again, if this is going to keep eating away at you, and eventually it's going to just keep causing fights until eventually it's over. So stop wasting each other's time. Just end that relationship now. On the flip side though, if it's not against your morals, it's not against your values, something maybe you don't enjoy but you don't mind it as much, you find it maybe weird, it's something that's healthy. Alone time is healthy. Watching porn doesn't mean that this person doesn't find you attractive, doesn't mean that they're going to go ahead and cheat on you. It's more of a fantasy, if you will. I would say join him. Definitely join him. See how that goes. It can spice things up a little bit, or just let it be. Just let him have his own alone time. You should have your own alone time. Maybe you should try to watch it on your own. You guys may have different taste in porn, so that could be a thing. So again, have the open dialogue, but really search within yourself to see if it's a deal breaker or not, and then go from there. How important should sex be in a relationship? Honestly, for this one, there's so many variables in it. It really depends on the stage of the relationship you're in, different circumstances that are going on, meaning if your work life is crazy, out of control, or if you have kids. There's so many different things that can cause how often you have sex. If it's the beginning of a relationship you just started, you're gonna be like rabbits. You're gonna be doing it all the time. And at that point, it's normal to do that, as opposed to someone who's in a relationship for 2-3 years or longer. Sometimes that kind of goes a little stale and it goes to like once a week. But again, it really depends on your libido. There's so many factors here. There's not really one standard answer. For some couples, having it once a week is totally fine. For others, the normal is 2 to 5 times a week. It just really depends on the couple. Sex overall, yes, it is important in a relationship. How often though, it really depends. I do think that you have to set time away from your daily sometimes to spend time with your significant other. If that's once a month, once every 2 months, what have you, whatever works for you guys as a couple, it's really, you guys need to sit down and figure that out, but stick to it. It's important to have that alone time away from your kids, away from your crazy career. Is it okay that I get my lashes, nails, and hair done every other week, but get annoyed when my boyfriend spends money on shirts he does not need? My first question to both of you guys would be, how are the finances in your household? Are bills getting paid? Are you guys having extra income after all the bills are getting paid? If so, then you guys are both totally allowed to spend money on yourselves on things you necessarily don't need, but you want, right? If the finances in the household are not being met or it's very tight, then I would say to both of you guys, calm down. You guys need to really realign your priorities. The purchases that you guys are making are wants and not needs. There's a difference between what you want and what you need for survival in a sense. So it really depends on your financial situation, but I think it's definitely healthy to be able to spend things to pamper yourself. But again, go back to having everything in check first before you do that. How come love sometimes isn't enough? This is a loaded question. I wish I could ask follow-up questions here, but since I don't have that luxury, I'm just gonna go off of assumptions. I'm assuming here either two things. You're truly not really in love with this person. There's a difference between being in love with someone and loving someone. You know, I love my neighbor, I love my sister, but I'm not in love with them. That would be weird. So you're in love with your significant other. There's a difference between the two. So that might be what you're asking. And sometimes I was in a relationship for 4 years and I loved that individual, but I wasn't in love with them, and I knew the relationship ran its course. At that point, we ended it, and then we went our separate ways. The other thing I might think you might be asking is when someone's very toxic. You know, when you're with someone who's a drug addict, for example, they can be very toxic. They can weigh you down. Yes, you might love that person with all your heart, but if they're continuously just dragging you down, it's not worth it. That's not worth to be in that relationship, that toxic relationship. You have to get out. It's just not healthy. So again, I'm not sure really where this question was going. It's kind of open-ended, but that's what I think you were asking. Thanks for watching. Make sure you watch part 2 of this video. The link is below. And as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe.